everyone, it's Tzayla, and welcome back to Off Key and On Pitch, your backstage pass to the unfiltered world of music. Today we have an amazing guest, someone who has been shaping the music industry from behind the camera. Dalton Lewis has been filming for 11 years and has spent the last 7 years working in the music industry. He is a business owner, director, content strategist, and cinematographer who has worked with artists like Swayze, Noah Hicks, and Indie Tribe. In this episode, Dalton shares his journey from sneaking cameras into concerts just to get in there for free, to building a thriving career in cinematography. We dive into the behind the scenes of music videos, the difference between working with independent artists versus labels, and the power of networking in the industry. We also talk about authenticity and why artists should drop the ego and focus on building real connections. If you're an artist, content creator, or just someone looking to break into the creative industry, you're going to love this episode, which, by the way, was recorded in a coffee shop. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's get into the conversation with Dalton Lewis. I'll wait for the guy to walk by.
All right.
How
do we do this thing?
Oh, my bad. I have a weird problem with starting. It just takes me 3 seconds to start. All right, here we go.
You just gotta not start. Like you should start the clip now, so the beginning is just us talking about when we're starting, and there's no proper intro because that's just hilarious. And just roll.
Welcome to the show today.
Awesome.
So, how did your journey in music and cinematography start? Like, how did you choose this industry? Why?
Well, I was born in 2002. Yeah, pretty much, and then now we're here. So, no. So
Great
it
answer.
started forever ago because my dad used to work on computers, so I got my first half-working Windows XP computer when I was 3 years old, and I used it for Microsoft Paint, and I discovered the Windows Music Library, and in it was a DC Talk CD, and from that point on, I was obsessed with hip-hop. And yeah, you know, I never crossed my mind as a career. It was always like my dad did music stuff, but I was not musically talented, so I was like, that's not my thing. And then after years of getting into the video stuff and doing that on a corporate level, I was like, man, music videos are cool. I love watching them. Never really thought, I should do this. You know, I just assumed that was an unattainable thing. And then I started doing concerts because I wanted to get in concerts for free. So I just started sneaking my camera in and being like, I'll take photos or whatever. And yeah, just networked my way into starting to do music videos, creative directing, and the evolution of short form concert. All that has really kind of given me a lane in this industry. But yeah, I don't know, obsessed with music and the art of it. I'm just not talented in it myself.
Well, you're good at music videos. I've seen some of the stuff you do. They're really good.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's the closest I could get to singing, you know? I was just making music videos.
And that's fine. Like, there's so many jobs in the music industry. Like, even if you can't play or sing, you can do anything else. Like, I know people like A&R agents that I've met who they literally only started in the music industry because they just liked listening to music, and they found out one day that they can get paid to just listen to music and discover good music.
Like, we can get paid to be overly critical of other people's art.
Are you insane? Or like,
crazy.
or DJs who just get started because they made a good playlist one day and their friends were like, "This is dope." And
yeah, exactly.
It's insane. So we both grew up homeschooled. I don't know if you knew that.
I try to closet
Forget
my
that.
homeschooledness as
Oh, my
much
bad.
as possible. But
I pulled it straight out.
But yeah, no, you can tell. You can tell. It's
You
there.
can tell. Well, for me, I love being homeschooled because it gave me so much time to work on my music and stuff like that. How was that for you?
This is the part of the podcast that my mom won't enjoy. Sorry. So I was homeschooled, and I got to high school. I figured out I was doing the video stuff from 7th or 8th grade. I'm about to be 23, and I'm on my 11th year of my career, which is weird to say. But I was like, hey, parents, I'm not going to college. And they were like, yeah, you are. And I was like, no. And then my dad was like, if you live in this house, you're going to college. And then I was like, hey, I made $300 in 20 minutes doing this video stuff. And he was kind of like, all right, if you can keep doing this, we'll talk. And so I get to high school determined that I'm not going to college. And so I go, hey, Mom, I know I'm supposed to do school for 6 or 8 hours a day. What if I worked for an hour on real school and then just did what I wanted for the other 6-7 hours she was like, no, you need to do all your schoolwork before you do the video stuff. And slowly, maybe we can give you a little more creative time every day. And within about a year or so, I just stopped doing school, and I just made the videos. It's not exactly the greatest advice. Like, I couldn't get into a college today if I wanted to. I have to go probably retake a GED or something. I don't know. I just stopped doing school, and I was like, I'm going to do this stuff because I believe so much that this works. And everybody was always like, what about your plan B? And I was like, well, plans like A through Z that I have don't require an ounce of education besides me picking something up and doing it myself. So I'm good on that. And yeah, Mom would always be like, you need to do your schoolwork, and I'd be like, but I have clients that have deadlines, and I'm making money. And it was always like, all right, I guess. But yeah, it was great. I wasn't exactly the intended plan by my mother, but it panned out, you know?
I like that story. Like, you realize so young that you don't need college. And I also didn't go to college because I didn't think that was a necessary thing. Plus, I hate being stuck in a classroom. I'm a like hands-on person.
Yeah,
I'd rather
do it for an extra 4 years.
Yeah, and there's other ways to educate yourself. Like podcasts like this, or taking courses, or going to events and stuff like that. So, and that's great. And it worked out. And you're how old? 22? 22. And you're very successful, which is great. So you make like music videos and other content such like that. What kind of artists do you generally work with?
I'm in a weird conundrum with the artists that I work with. I love big words. Maybe I did finish high school. But it's a mix of independent artists and label artists. Working with label artists, it's a label. Yeah, there's a lot of money, but there's a lot more hoops you have to jump through. You have to impress the people in the suits, you know. And it's like, yeah, I can go charge $10,000 for a music video. By the time I'm done with it, it's no longer a piece of art that I'm proud of because it's gotten beaten through revisions, and you know, I only brought home $1,000 out of that 10 anyway. So it's like, is it really that worth it? I will say I'm blessed to have a couple labels that I really like working with, that really like working with me, and they like to financially take care of the team quite nicely, and it's not problematic at all. I've had plenty of label interactions that have not gone well. But yeah, on the label side, if for people I know, I love to work with them. Independent side, I love it. It's way less money, obviously, but it's way more fun. Like, I have artists that have sent me, like, we'll be in the studio, they'll cook a song, and I'll have a music video in my head. The song they haven't even laid vocals on it yet. And I'm like, yo, yeah, I got the concept already. And so it's good to have the independent artists that can trust you enough to let you run from start to finish with the whole concept, which is not something you get on a label at all. And so doing it that way is really solid. But yeah, I mean, I have a mixture of independent artists. I mean, it's definitely more fun. Not opposed to working with label artists. I'd like to get into the label scene a little bit more. But I haven't met the right people there. I only have a couple labels that I really like to work with. But yeah.
What is that process like? Like, how do people like reach out to you, and then like you talk about the song and then just start shooting?
On which side, the label or the independent? Or
both? Either or?
Really just networking. I know that's the thing, everybody wants some profound answer, but networking. It's like I got into it. This is a little more of a deep dive on the origin story, but I went to a Andy Mineo concert when I was like 14. And I saw a dude in the photo pit that looked roughly my age. He had a press pass, he had a camera, the whole thing, and I was like, yo, this is weird. Like, he can get in here? And I found out, like, okay, he just emailed the right person, whatever. And so I got in, I just shook hands with everybody. Random newspaper photographers that were barely allowed to be there, all the way to the tour photographers and the managers. And people always joke about the paid and exposure. Don't work for free forever. For a little bit, sure. Even on a case-by-case basis, there's stuff I do now for free because I go, okay, I see where the value on this could be. You have to get good at gauging that, or else you're just going to screw yourself over a lot. But it's all about working with people, them posting, crediting you, even behind the scenes stuff. Like, I'll send the artists some free behind the scenes photos that I don't charge them for, but they post them and they tag me, and then all of a sudden I get a bunch of people. Like I did my first country video probably 6 months ago, and as soon as it was posted and I was tagged, I had 10, 15 like execs and industry people from Nashville, where I was not even at. I didn't even film those there, and they're following me off of that. And that's this far into my career, but that's how it was. I mean, every music room that you think is big is smaller. It's way smaller than you think of. Like in the rap scene, you can take everybody in the rap game that is a key player, put them all in the same room, and there's probably 200 of them max. Like it's a lot smaller than you think. So once you start to know somebody, their team overlaps, and it's like the teams overlap too. If a tour manager knows you because you work with band A, well, tour manager works with band A, B, C, D. So now you have 3 more bands that are gonna know about you because everyone talks. So that's how I go, just doing stuff for people, other people seeing it, going, A, I want to work with this guy, or B, work out of the way, just you as a person, just being a good hang. Like, there's so many artists that I've never done a lick of work with that are just my friends behind the scenes. We play video games, we go hang out, whatever, and they're bigger than any of the other artists I work for. And it's just because you make those genuine friendships as well. And they'll recommend, they're in a room with a big artist, yo, you should go work with him, you should go work with this person. And so it just happens naturally. People talk.
Yeah, that's one thing not many people know. Like, the music industry is smaller than you think it is, and everyone knows each other, and it's like built on nepotism, which is not always a bad thing. It's just who knows you, like who you know, and be nice to everybody, because you never know who other people know, and just always provide value. Be a good person to hang around, and you'll find great stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah. Are there any artists that you want to work with, or any genres you prefer to dip your toe into?
I mean, let's get the basic answer out of the way. Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. I'll just go ahead and knock those out because, yeah. But no, I'm sticking my foot in the country scene. I love it. Like, I grew up rap. Rap is still the genre I love the most. But, I don't know, as I'm growing as a person, my life is just becoming more country. It just is. Like,
you're wearing camo right now in a Bass Pro Shops hat.
Like, if it wasn't raining outside right now, I would have been fishing before and after this interview.
Yeah.
Like, and so I'm enjoying country. I love getting into that. I like the way that they move. It's very family oriented, and the business is very cut and dry. With rap, it's all a bunch of people that are broke and working day jobs, pretending that they're millionaires that drive super fancy cars. But when it comes to paying you, it's like, oh, that's too expensive. We don't got that kind of money, whatever. Country, it's a bunch of stupid rich guys that are acting like they drive a 1995 Silverado and work on a farm, even though they haven't worked a job in 30 years. And so you toss them a reasonable budget for a video, and they're like, sure, yeah, that's fine. That's all? Okay, cool, whatever. And so it's family oriented too. Like, I'm about to go on a country tour, and all the other tours I've talked to or been a part of, it's like you're out for 60 days straight. You have 2 off days, and they're in like the middle of Utah or something. This, it's like I go out on the road. I'm gonna be gone from Thursday to Saturday, and then I'm home Sunday to Wednesday. And it's off weeks. Like, what more could I want in that sense? Like, I still get to. I don't have to move clients. I can still do my company, like my day job, if you will, while I'm on a tour, which is crazy.
That's great. I can't read all of a sudden. Okay. Is there something that you've worked with a lot of artists, and I think you've mentioned a few things earlier, but like, is there anything you've noticed that artists continue doing that you think they should stop doing, or is there something they're not doing you think they should be doing?
The ego and the image thing. The whole thing of, I gotta pull up acting a certain way, and like, don't take it as me saying, yo, you can't be cool, you can't have like your swag, your style, whatever. It's like, don't get caught up in it. Like, if you get you some money, okay, go buy you a Tesla, go buy you a Scat Pack, whatever you think, go do it. But you don't have to have it, right? I know a guy who, he hit his blow up. He did his thing. He got his big check. The most bougie thing he did was he went and he bought a 2025 Toyota Sienna. a minivan so he could drive all his homies around. He has the money to go.
So nice.
He has the money to go get, like, he could have gone and gotten a Tesla. Everyone else in his circle has a Tesla. He's like, no, minivan. And I'm like, that's hilarious. That's great.
Have you seen the minivan commercial from like a few years ago? And it was, you can't pick up this many girls in a sports car. You can pick up, but you can.
I mean, that's facts. It's just true.
It's a guy picking up like 8 girls in a minivan versus the guy who can only pick up 1 in a sports car.
Right. And it's like, I just see a lot of people that have, there's a lot of artists that have ruined their shot at working with me. They've ruined their reputation with me because of their act. They're acting a certain way. Like, there's an artist that I know that deliberately, he drives like a 2016 car that he owns, that he paid for, whatever, lives in a normal apartment, but portrays that he shows up to he rents out a Suburban and a driver to drop him off at shows. That he's not, like, if he's just going to a show to support like one of the friends or whatever, he still has the same, he'll pull up to do his one verse at a buddy's show in a blacked out Suburban that has a rental tag on the back. And I'm like, and he acts like that's just his life, and it's not. And I'm not saying it's a crime to pull up to a show in style. There are times and places where that happens, but learn the time and place, and don't always try to keep up the facade. Be a genuine person. Some of the best artists that I've ever worked with are some of the richest artists ever, and they roll up in their personal cars, their personal truck. Sure, they may have 5 more cars at home, but they're not trying to do something. This whole, like, not accessible thing, while there is a point as an artist, you have to cut off accessibility from some people, right? You have to protect your piece a little bit more. But there are genuine and authentic ways to do that without being a jerk, and a lot of people don't understand it. So yeah, just like, I've had artists that I didn't think would even hit my phone back, and when we go to work together, they're like, yeah, just pull up to my house and we'll just hang out. And I'm like, I'm just at their personal, like, this is an authentic person. And they fully have the fame and the numbers and the money to justify being a jerk, and people would still like them. And so yeah, just be authentic. If you got your money, buy your cool car, do what you want, but you don't have to keep this facade that you're some fancy person that you're not.
I agree. I was reading, I don't know where I was reading it, but they did a study. They videoed like 10 different people and gave them all different scripts to say, and one person was genuinely telling a real story from their life, and other people were just reading scripts, and they played these videos for like a lot of people and asked them, which of these 10 people do you like the best? And they all picked, every single one picked the authentic person, because somehow, like, as humans, like, we can recognize authenticity when you're telling us the truth. And it always resonates better with us, and we tend to be drawn towards them. So I agree, like, be authentic, be you. I heard this one quote, you can catch more butterflies by growing your own garden rather than chasing after them with a net, and you won't be as tired either. Because they'll come, just be patient.
They'll show up.
They'll show up.
The community of friends that I've generated by being myself is so awesome. Like, the short little tangent I'll go off. I spent a few years of my career acting a certain way, being like, oh, I can't say this around this person. I want them to really be impressed by me.
Yeah.
And I got in the room with all these artists that were my heroes as a kid, and then they were just, I'm like, I don't want to hang out with these guys. And like, it's not even fun. Like, sure, I got to hang out with this big name, but it's like, I wasn't myself. They wouldn't know my name if you said it to them, because I wasn't any different than anyone else. Like, I was just acting a certain way and kissing up to them. Like, I don't care who it is. I am now myself, and I don't care. Like, I've been far more successful since I've stopped caring than in years past when I was trying to kiss up to people. Like, it was just a waste of time and energy, and you're just gonna leave drained all the time. Whereas if I'm just myself, clowning on sets or whatever, I got people that come talk to me because that's how I am. And so yeah, that's the direction I chose to take.
Homeschooled.
Chose to take, and it's been way better.
Yeah. Plus, it's exhausting. I think it's exhausting to act, and then you're surrounded by people you don't like because you're acting like someone you don't like. So
it's like when I was doing that. when work mode would turn off, when it was time, when the session was over, when it was time to go home, when it was time to go get food or whatever, they would go one way, I would go another way.
Yeah.
Now, with the artists I work with now, when set's over, it's, yo, we're going to Waffle House, right? Are we going to go play Smash after this? Yeah, bet. All right, cool. We genuinely are doing life outside of this work thing. When it turns off, this is still how we roll. So that's just way better.
That's great. So of all of the content you make, both long and short form, I think I've asked you this before actually, what tends to do best, or do they all just have an equal opportunity of going viral?
You gotta play the machine to get the numbers at the moment. I'm not gonna drop 30 hours on a music video, put it on YouTube, and then it's just gonna go. Every music video that I've ever had go viral or whatever, it's been some kind of short form, something or another, whatever the machine wanted at the time. Machine being the album, or the algorithm, the industry, TikTok, whatever that is. It's all been from one of those channels. Like one of the first videos I had that popped off was like a music video that did 50,000 views organic on an artist that had like no discography out at the time at all. And that came from a TikTok that we put out about the video. So you can be artsy, but if you want it to really, really sell, some ounce of it has to play to the machine a little bit. Which I don't like. I would much rather just do what I want and put it out and 10 people see it anyway. But knowing how to play to that machine and that audience is an important skill to have.
That makes sense. Would you say like posting every day is a good amount, or is that too high of a frequency?
Too much.
Too much.
Too much work on you, too much work on everyone else. Now, I will say, it works for some people. But I would say gauge how you're doing your quality standard. So I have a friend Graham, and Graham is huge. He's one of the biggest independent artists that's out right now, doing huge numbers. And he was in college he was producing. He was doing stuff for making beats for other people. That's what he kind of was famous for at the time within certain industries. And he started making his own music kind of because he felt like it, put it out on the side. And what he did was, in a college dorm with his phone, he was making phone TikToks and doing 2 or 3 of them a day. And he did 2 or 3 of them a day for 8 months, I think he said one time. But for a single one of them did more than 5,000 views.
Wow.
So that's a nod to consistency, which I'm sure would have probably come up later on in this. But he did a lot. But it was all phone stuff. No, he's not going out. Like, he's still batching it. He's not, like, it's not an 8-hour thing every day. He probably spent an hour or 2 max putting these things out. And so, yeah, no, that works for some people. My style and the people I work with, it's more of the high production value content a couple times a week. I always tell my artists to go for no less than 3 a week, like reels. No less than 3 reels, but no more than 5. If it's more than 5, it's too much. The algorithm sees it as spammy. The sweet spot I found is 3 reels a week, and then 1 like photo carousel. That's what I try to roll with. But that's me and the artists I work with. If the 2-3 phone things a day is your deal, cool. It works different ways for different people. Yeah.
Interesting. I love that you also specify like high quality, high production. Like I've heard for so many people, they say don't do those because somehow the algorithm likes the raw stuff and it doesn't even take that much time. It's the ones that you don't spend any time on that get the most amount of views, which is what a lot of people are finding. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it is weird. You have some people, I will say, honestly, you have a better chance commercially with an iPhone. If your goal is just to blow up commercial, yeah, iPhone will work. Like most of my buddies that have popped off and now have these huge careers, it came from iPhone videos to some extent, yeah. But there are also well put together pieces that do well. But yeah, don't use what you got. It doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter as much as you think it does.
That's right. At the end of the day, just put something out. Just put something out.
If you go to the gym for 2 minutes a day, it's better than not going for 6 days and then going for like 10 minutes on one day, right?
I agree.
Like you show up a little bit every day, that consistency will pay off regardless.
Agreed. If you were to drop a song, what would you do to make that song, like, make it big, like, go viral or something?
Well, what's the goal? What is the goal of this piece of art I'm making? Is it just to sell and make money, strictly?
Sure.
If that's the case, I would just see what everyone else was doing, get as similar to it as I could, while making it a little bit of my own flavor. But
I love how easy you just said that, and it's actually much more difficult than it sounds.
But yes and no. Making something just like everything you see isn't that hard.
No.
It's making something original that'll actually stand out that's hard. But
yeah.
It's not easy to appeal, or it's not hard to appease the algorithm being someone you're not. It's hard to be authentically you and make a true piece of art and get it out there and it do well. That's what I would say. So if I was really making something that I would be proud of, I would make an original thing that I've seen no one do or do anything similar to. If I just wanted a quick buck, I would just blend in with what's there and just try to do it a little bit better than the next guy.
Okay, interesting. And in your findings recently, like, what does the algorithm want right now?
It really depends. The algorithm as of recently doesn't really like music too much as a whole. 2 years ago, you could blow up off TikTok and have a career off of a singular song. It's a whole lot harder to do now. But the algorithm right now is, it's prioritizing storytelling more than anything. Used to it was flashy edits, whatever. Right now it's categorizing or prioritizing catchy hooks. In terms of, and when I say a hook, I don't mean like an algorithm hook. I mean like a chorus, right? Like a catchy chorus, an organic visual, and then a story of some sort. So like that's the big like movie level production isn't gonna do too hot. It's more of that like, yo, I've got a camera and I'm walking down the street. So it's like, it's above an iPhone, but it's not quite a production. It's just like you're just making art, but you're putting some effort into it.
Yeah, DIY, but it looks good.
Right.
But you can still tell it's DIY.
Right, yeah. Because like a lot of the artists that I work with will literally just go walk around the streets of Atlanta with a camera, just pull it out at random spots, just one take, put it out, does great. So, storytelling, authentic, catchy, whatever it is, it's catchy.
So there are, one thing, like a lot of people say, it's the music needs to be strong, but at the end of the day, people don't really care about the music. It's about who you are as a person. That could be talking authenticity. And a lot of the content you've been talking about are all music stuff. So like you said, like a catchy chorus, just walking down the street. Do you think that that's more important, or like behind the scenes stuff, or day in a life, or this is something that happened to me today? Just more of those raw, this is who I am posts.
Well, as an artist, you have two audiences that you have to appease. There's the audience that there's the audience that how do I say this? There's not into people that they hear your music in public on the radio or something like that. They bob their head. They're like, yeah, cool, awesome, whatever. Couldn't tell you where the artist is from. Couldn't tell you more than their first and last name. If that. That audience is always going to be the bigger audience, and that's going to be the audience that honestly gets you some money, but not a lot. Your second audience is core fans, borderline stalker fans that could like tell you what city the artist grew up with and like what their mom's name
They can tell you where they are right now.
Right, yeah. Be like, yeah, they're probably at this place right now, and like they can give you the lore on an album front to back, and like, yeah, like that's, but bridging the hard part is bridging the gap to get those
converting
lukewarm fans over into being crazy. Like, and so those are the two fan bases. So I would say it matters, but it matters equally. If your music sucks, you're not going to get too far. If your personality sucks, you're not going to get too far. There are some artists that have done a great job commercially while not letting a bit of their personality out at all. Like, NF, barely any personality ever shown. Giant artist. Like, everyone knows who. And then there's some artists that it's all their personality and barely anybody knows anything about their music. They just know they're a great personality. I think it's actually hilarious that Tyler, the Creator, is playing right now in this coffee shop.
You just love Tyler, the Creator. He's like your favorite example.
Tyler's the GOAT. But he's a perfect example of incredible music that is totally different from his personality. Like, there are people that I've shown Tyler to that are like, oh yeah, we just thought he was like the Vine guy. Like, we thought he was from Vine or like TikTok or whatever. I'm like, no, this is the same guy that makes this song. There are people that know his music and know him as a person and don't even connect that it's the same person. But it's great in both ways, you know? So it matters. It matters to have a personality. It matters to have great music. But it's finding that way to balance them both that is the true key balance, the secret sauce, if you will.
All right, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Finding a balance between the two. So let's say someone else wants to get started in like is it videography or cinematography? Which one do you prefer?
Whatever I feel like. There's probably more. There's more technical answer, but I don't care.
I'm just gonna call you video maker.
Yeah, no one's offending me either way. Like,
okay, let's say someone wants to get started in this industry, in this world. What advice would you have for them getting started?
Think of success in this industry as like the stock market or like a real estate flip, right? So you don't get in this and then, you know, Justin Bieber comes down off a cloud and says, let me take you with me up here to stardom and famous, and here's a bunch of money. It doesn't happen. You plant roots with people and then the people grow. It's like you're watering plants. You lock in with somebody. So everybody tries to, like, if you got a small town artist, like, I'm not going to work with them small town. I'm trying to make it with the big Atlanta guys or the big Nashville guys or whatever. No, you got to plant roots here and then grow with that. All of the big artists, all the, you know, famous people, whatever, that are in my phone that I've worked with or whatever, we worked together when we were both nobodies, right? No one knew who either of us were, and then they've popped off and taken me with them, right? Or there's other cases where I have smaller artists I work with, and I've taken them into other rooms with people I know, and they've gotten more commercial success off of that. So yeah, no, it's a long-term process. So find your people in your town, maybe the town over, right? Find the small one that smell the potential. You can look at somebody after watching their work ethic, the art that they make, and how they handle it. You can figure out if they're making it or not pretty quickly. And I've chosen to look at the certain artists and be like, I can tell by the work ethic, by the demeanor that they're making it. I don't have to risk like them just flopping and going and getting a day job. I know that they're going to make it. And those are the people that I plan with. Because the reality is, a lot of the first artists you work with, they're not going to have much money. I have artists that I've worked with for years for free, where my deal is pay my gas, pay my food. Cool. Those are the same artists that have made me stupid money later on into my career because they've blown up and gone somewhere. So yeah, you got to plant the roots with people while they're small, and then they'll take you with them.
Some great advice. I was like reading Billboard the other day, and there's this whole section in Billboard, and they were talking to the managers, some of the biggest artists right now. Like I'm talking Benson Boone and a bunch of other people, and they were like telling the story of the manager, and a lot of them, like majority of them, had all met the artist like before they were even known. Like they met him at a bar one day. They were just friends, and they said, hey, can you help me with this? And their friend was like, yeah, sure, I'll help you. And now they're grown with them together, still the same manager, and they're playing at the Grammys or stuff like that.
A lot of managers aren't managers. A lot of managers are artists' best friends, and the artist wanted an excuse to bring them along to everything.
Yeah.
And now they've taught them how to be a manager.
And they're good at it.
And they're now great managers.
Exactly.
just making it up as you go along. Like that's how that has gone with a lot. I've had artists that I've for a time managed them. I've set up shows and tours. I've creative directed. I have some of them that I run their socials. I have a weird amount of like artist and band socials on my phone right now because I'm working in that position for them right now.
Yeah.
But I won't in a few years. But yeah, I mean that's where you gotta foster the authentic connections way back.
That's some good advice. Do you have any like really fun stories of like shoots you've done with artists or something? Anything crazy ever happened?
I'm trying to think of which ones I can share.
No cursing.
I have oh no, not that one. I just mean like contractually which ones I'm allowed to share. Yeah, I mean no, it's really just at the end of the day ends up just being like it's just me hanging out with my friends now. It's like I'm doing the same dumb stuff I would have done when I was a teenager, but we're all together and there's a camera around, like and there's some money behind it now. So it's like yeah, just living, having fun. I mean, going out, finding an abandoned building, standing in front of it, shooting. Like it's complex. It is complex. I'm not gonna lie. But the more you get into it, the longer you do it, the less complex it gets.
And the more fun it is.
It's just fun.
I agree. I was acting in something because I also act, and I was on the set. The whole cast was there, and everyone just was having fun. It was literally just hours and hours just hanging out with some great people, and then every once in a while they go action, and then you're acting, but they call it cut, and then you're all laughing again. You're just hanging out, and I'm like, why do you work anywhere besides the creative industry? Like it's just a bunch of people hanging out, having fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a great like. I don't know. What does it for me is when the business turns into like this is my family at the end of the day. Like I don't the people that I'm doing this with, the people that are sitting here on charts or on these playlists and doing this for a living are the same people that like like when I got married, they're sitting out there at the reception partying with me, right?
Yeah.
Most of the big artists that I've worked with, I would not have invited them to my wedding. There's a bunch of the small artists I've worked with that nobody knew about at the time that we're out there partying it up. And now it's funny to be like, yo, these are my dogs that were at my wedding. These are just like my homies. And so like, yeah, just being able to make up something and then make history out of it is the coolest thing to me. It's literally everybody hears a song and they see a music video and they're great. Everyone does it. It's a human thing. But you don't?
No.
Never? You don't have
No,
that?
I've got a different brain. I can hear a small melody and I can hear an entire arrangement and I can hear everything that will go behind it, but I can't. Like that's Mia. We're the complete opposite. She can't hear anything, but she can see all the images.
Yeah, no,
I
that's a thing.
I feel emotions and I can hear the arrangement, but I can't picture.
That's wild.
No.
That is crazy.
Well, I can picture some things, but like not like fully fledged out. This is a music video.
That was like a thing. I feel like everyone does that. When they hear a radio, like they hear a song, and they're like, "Oh, you have a thing in your head."
I just think of a memory, or I think of like my own memories that this matches, or I just think of a feeling or an emotion. I just don't like.
Most people have that. A lot of people have that, and so and everyone always talks about it. And it's a thing I heard talked about for years. And then I had a reality a few months ago. I was like, "Yo, my whole job is this thing that everyone's talked about being a thing. This is what I do now." So that's probably the coolest thing. Is like the coolest story is having moments where I've sat around and I hear a song and I was like, this reminds me of this emotion or this location. Like I had one where my friend, he plays me this song. I go, movie theater. I say movie theater. Like I see a movie theater and I see a car mechanic shop. And he was like, what? I don't get that at all. And
that's what Mia does with me.
I sketched out a whole plan, and he goes, "Yeah, okay, I could see it." And then we get to the end of it, and he was like, "Yo, this is crazy." And the whole video was in a car shop and all this stuff. And so like, yeah, I don't know, taking an idea from, like you said, hearing a little bit of something, like a melody or something, and just kind of obeying and chasing after that weird imaginary thing that's in the corner of your brain that everyone else just dismisses. That's the most fun thing to me, I think.
Yeah. And I love how like we found an industry where we're able to take that one fun thing and make a living off of it, which is amazing. Even if you don't like music, find that one thing you love, and
Right.
there's a way to make money off of it. There is a way. I know there's a job where you eat dog food. That's a job, to see if it tastes good. I don't know if you're going to want to do that, but that's a job. The most weird things are jobs.
Personally, not my thing, but I mean, get your money up, not your funny up, I guess.
If you ever want to, that's an option.
That is the thing. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm trying to nail down because everything I've given on that is just super vague, but like, I don't know, just the moments of looking around and being like, yo, this is what we do. This is our job for real. People pay us to just hang out, be ourselves. Like, I don't know. That's cool.
Yeah. Although it is a business, it's still a legit business, though.
It is.
Let's all remember that. But it's a fun business. We can have fun, and that's great. I love it. So you've accomplished so much in your career, and I'm sure you want to accomplish more. So what is your dream, like your ultimate dream?
Right now, Monday through Friday is corporate videos, maintaining my business that I have.
I'm thinking more long term, but thanks for the weekly plan.
That's what it is right now, right? And it's music stuff on the weekend. I go do gigs with some artists here and there, whatever. The occasional show runs and tours. I want to be in a place where I own this company that does corporate stuff, but I don't really, not really in it. I want a day where I'm not editing the hospital video or the commercial. I want the day where that's all handled. It's kind of talking about real estate earlier. It's kind of like a rental property I go check in on every now and then. But for the most part, it just brings me income. And then my everyday is music, studio sessions, all that stuff. Eventually, I would love to build some kind of a creative space in Nashville or here, near Atlanta. That is, my goal with it would be to bring independent artists label-sized resources while not having any contractual obligations, not having 80% of your master being gone, The ability to work with these creatives, these video people, these studios. I want to have studios. Everybody makes music in their bedroom now. And I feel like we've lost the energy of the big studio session, right? Like the whole... I mean, everybody's seen the videos. It's, like Lil Wayne and everybody, like, they're all 8 of them in the studio. They're all sitting there making a hit. And we've lost that now. Like, all the songs that have been on the charts in the last few years, for the most part, were all conceptualized in, like, somebody's bedroom. Which, while there's nothing wrong with that, do what you can, we've kind of forsaken the art of a whole creative session together. It's all just people emailing WAV files back and forth.
You lost the connection.
Right,
yeah, the connection part.
And so I want to enable a space where we don't lose that. Like, that's like just a thing. Life is going to a studio, making stuff. If we have an idea, abandoning everything else we had for the day and rolling with that idea to completion. That's what I want that to be eventually. But at the moment, it's just building up the more practical business side until my fun money is enough to do that, But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's just making it where my everyday is the music stuff fully. There's no part of me that has to deal with the corporate stuff. Well, I still like that stuff. It's nowhere near as fun as going and making a music video from scratch.
No, that's a good goal to have. And the space you mentioned, that's such a beautiful thing. Like, because everyone knows creativity grows best amongst people. So I really hope you accomplish that. That way I don't have to move out of this town. I can just stay right here.
Yeah, now the whole big thing is like, do I do this here or do I do this in Nashville?
You'd probably be more successful in Nashville, but you'd make the news if it was here.
It's true. Making the news in a small town is not a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
You just have to like capture like a possum in a park or something, and they'll put you on the front page out here,
Yes.
No, I love my small town. It's great. You get to know everybody in like 2 minutes.
I think I know like 3 people in this coffee shop right now.
Right, I was going to say, the biggest, like, I don't know, you get to walk in a coffee shop like this, you're going to have somebody who works at McDonald's sitting here reading a book. You also have somebody that, like, owns the business that runs the whole town, and they're also in here, too. It's the craziest, like, melting pot of people, which is awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome. So how can people, like, find you, get in touch with you, or follow your journey?
The easiest thing for me is, it's on Instagram, dude. Dalton the Nerd. Straight up. Pretty self-explanatory. I have that handle on everything imaginable. Try to keep it consistent so people can find me easy, but that's where you see the work. On my page, I post a lot of behind the scenes of how we make the content that we put out.
Oh, cool.
The actual videos are out, obviously, on all the artists' channels and things. But the behind the scenes is over there on my channel. And yeah, that's where everybody can find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today. This has been a great conversation.
Heck yeah, thanks for having me.
We good? There's too many cameras in here.
We're good. This one died, so
Oh.
you only got 2 rows.
Awesome. Let's go.
So I was doing the Nardwar thing.
I can tell. All right. Let me see. Oh, thank goodness this is still recording. Wow, what a powerful conversation with Dalton Lewis. There were so many gems in this episode, but two things really stood out to me. The importance of authenticity and the power of networking. First, authenticity. Dalton shared how so many artists get caught up in image, renting fancy cars, acting in certain ways, trying to impress people, when in reality, the artists who go the furthest are the ones who stay true to themselves. People can recognize authenticity. It's what makes fans connect with you. It's what makes industry professionals want to work with you and what allows you to build a career that lasts. So if you're an artist, a creator, or even a business owner, ask yourself, are you presenting a version of yourself that's real? Or are you trying to fit into a mold? And then networking. Dalton's entire career was built on relationships. He didn't wait for big opportunities to fall into his lap. No, he put himself in the right rooms, met the right people, and built genuine friendships. The music industry is smaller than people think, and word travels fast. So if you're known as someone who's reliable, fun to work with, and genuinely interested in others, opportunities will come to you. So here's something to think about. What are you doing to expand your network? Are you actively meeting people in your industry, providing value, and staying connected? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so DM me at Tzayla.official or tag me and tell me one way you are going to show up more authentically, or one step you're taking to build your network this week. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. You can follow Dalton at Dalton the Nerd, and if you want us to see more of his incredible work. You can also keep up with me at Tzayla.official, stream my music, check out more episodes, or even read my music blog, all of which can be found at Tzayla.com. But remember, at the end of the day, success is not about chasing an image or trying to force your way into rooms that are not meant for you. It's about showing up, being real, and letting your passion and work speak for itself. The right people will recognize your value. The right opportunities will come in time. You don't have to be anyone else. Your uniqueness is what will open doors for you. So stay consistent, stay true to yourself, and trust that you are exactly where you need to be. Your story, your art, and your voice matters. The world needs what only you can bring. So keep dreaming big, and I'll see you next time.